Hey boys and girls, welcome to your first day of online learning. I'm going to take some time here to go over what extended flexible learning is going to look like in science class. So please follow along with me here. If you have any questions or comments after the video, please feel free to Schoology message me. I will also give you access to the slideshow outside of the video with the voiceover. If you want to look through it at any time, you are more than welcome to. So first off, just during this time, important things to do would be to check your email. I'm going to be using Schoology as my primary source of communication with all of you, but other teachers may be using your MyPanthers email, so you don't want to miss any important information. You're always welcome to email me with questions or responses. Otherwise, Schoology messages will work perfectly fine. I will be communicating with your parents via their email as well. So if they are not receiving something from me, you can have them shoot me a Schoology message or email as well. Something that is important, and I have been trying to kind of adjust to, is to try to stick to a schedule during this time. It doesn't mean that your schedule has to look like a typical school day. Mine definitely has not looked like that. But setting some time aside specifically for school each day. We understand this is not going to be perfect, but just try your best. Doesn't have to be the same every day, but you should have some time set aside so you know your one priority is going to be getting your schoolwork done. We still really care about your learning throughout this entire process, and I don't want you missing any information. So just do your best on this. Obviously, everyone's home life looks a little different during this time, so it's completely understandable if this is something that's not super consistent for you, but just do your best. The goal is going to be about 35 minutes per day of science. That's just during the week, Monday through Friday. Obviously, the weekends are still yours. Check Schoology each day. This is going to be the most important part for science, staying on top of everything. As usual, I will post your daily page with a plan for the day. Read this and use it as your guide. I will have everything that you need in Schoology, whether it's links, attachments, just general information will all be in Schoology for you. It will look a little bit different. Instead of organizing it by unit, I'm going to be organizing it by weeks and days just to make it very clear to all of you exactly what the expectations are for that specific day. But as always, the red folder is going to be the current week that we are working in, and you should be able to find that pretty easily up at the top. We will also be posting a team schedule for you to have an overview of your core classes. That will be posted to your Panther Time Schoology page, and it kind of just breaks down each week what you have to check for each class, what you have to complete for each class, and then if you have any live synchronous sessions, the times will be listed in that document as well. So for the digital classroom, which is just our time actually together online, we're going to be using Schoology conferences, WebEx discussions, or Flipgrid. For your live events, we're going to start using Schoology conferences. This is something I am unfamiliar with. I've never used. So on the first Tuesday of this week, so I guess that's tomorrow, we're going to do a practice Schoology conference just to see how it works. Otherwise, we may move to WebEx, but you will be doing discussions or Flipgrid almost every week. And you all should be somewhat familiar with discussions or Flipgrid because I know you've done those in other classes. Number one rule throughout all of this is going to be respect. Learning is happening here. Even if it looks different, be kind and polite. Everyone is going through different experiences during this time. Not everyone has the same home life. Not everyone has the same family experience. So please be respectful of that. And just, again, I want learning to happen. And it will not happen if we're not all contributing in a respectful and polite manner. So please just make sure you are cognizant of that and that we are being kind to one another. Second part here is sticking to the topic or subject we are discussing. Please don't have side conversations in the chat box during live events. Don't repeat the same thing over and over. And think about what you say, then type it. We want, again, this to be useful time. No one is here to waste your time. We want you to get learning out of each and every lesson that we create. So please just make sure you're sticking to the topic and we can all be able to learn and grow from that. There'll be time to have some side conversations and have conversations with your classmates, so don't be nervous about that. But when we are in the middle of a lesson, please make sure you're staying on topic. Last part here is come prepared. Do the prep work ahead of time and bring some sort of paper or something to write on and some sort of writing utensil. It doesn't have to be a notebook with a pencil because I know not everyone has that at home right now. Um, but some sort of writing utensil so you can take notes during some of our live lessons and so you can just kind of write down your thoughts. It's been helping me quite a bit just jotting down information outside of my computer. Otherwise, it is quite a bit of screen time for me as well. The prep work will usually come ahead the day before, so ahead of time. Like if we have a live event on a Tuesday, Monday, you will be doing some sort of prep work so you're coming to that lesson prepared. So the more you put into this, the more you will get out. Try to contribute to the conversation in a positive way. You may type a comment if you have something to say, ask a question if you have some confusion, or email me before or after if something comes up or if you need help. Or Schoology message, I will be probably checking more frequently. So please make sure that you are contributing to the conversation. I know this may be something that some of you are more comfortable with communicating online, so I'd like to see a lot of you kind of step out and get a little bit more comfortable sharing it with your classmates. I'm really excited to see that happen. Try to communicate naturally. I know it's hard to say, even myself when I'm communicating online, it definitely looks different than how I speak in the classroom, but just do your best to communicate with us in a natural way without using shorthand or texting language. I don't want to have to break apart all of your acronyms or the way you shorten words because that's how you text. Just make sure you're communicating naturally, but still so we can read it and understand what you're saying. Last thing is just supporting your claims with evidence. Please make sure you are explaining yourself using what you've learned. Don't just make blank statements without anything to back it up. Make sure you are always supporting your claims with evidence. This doesn't have to be super formal or elaborate. It just explaining yourself is kind of the best way I could explain that. Some tips and tricks for the digital classroom. Try to find a place in your house that will not have a lot of background distractions. Think about what we could see or hear. Again, I know this will look different for all of you. For me, this even looks different. I had to kind of go in this random room we have upstairs and shut the door so my dog doesn't come and interrupt me during meetings or while I'm working. So if you randomly hear whining or barking, he has found me. But again, try to find somewhere that you're seated and you're comfortable. And again, think about things that are in the background or what we perhaps could hear, because you would be surprised at how much you can pick up on the iPads or on your computer. Be on time for meetings. I'm going to give you about 5-10 minutes at the beginning to catch up with each other and just be able to kind of chat in a more comfortable way. But then once the lesson needs to begin, everyone will be muted and you will be called on, kind of like in the classroom. I can see you raise your hand and I can address you, and then you will be able to have your time to speak. Please turn off your microphone when you are not talking. I've been in a lot of online meetings like this over the past week, and it's very distracting when someone forgets to do this. I've had to mute it sometimes when my dog starts whining, or sometimes people have forgotten to turn off their microphone and you hear typing on the keypad or conversations in the background. Just please make sure you are muting your microphone when you're not speaking, and then you're able to unmute it when it is your time to share. Next thing is please type your name when you sign in. I'm not exactly sure how the chat box is going to look for Schoology conferences, but I want to make sure I know everyone who is in the live meeting and make sure I kind of give everyone credit that is there participating. Please remember you are in class and should act accordingly. We shouldn't see or hear you eating, playing video games, brushing your teeth. I definitely don't want to see you in the restroom. I just would like to see your face seated and engaged in the lesson. You all know how to act in class. Just make sure we are following that in the digital classroom as well. So now something that's unique to science, you will not have in every class. We are Mrs. Leet and I are trying to keep our Tuesdays and Thursdays pretty consistent, so you know exactly what to expect from us each week. So on Tuesdays, we're going to call them Talk to Me Tuesdays. This is when you can expect a live or synchronous, as you may hear it called, lesson. So this is when we're going to be either using Schoology conferences or WebEx, and this is dependent on the class and the lesson. And we will be able to all meet together as a class. So live lessons will begin at the start of your class period. Now, in case you missed it, there is a new schedule for online learning or for our extended flexible learning, and it looks like this. So instead of first hour starting at 7:45, it's pushed back 45 minutes. So hopefully you guys can get a little bit more sleep, and it is adjusted a little bit. So, for example, if you are in my period 3 and it is a Tuesday, so we are doing our live lessons, you can expect to be in that meeting at 10 o'clock. I will be sending out reminders, but the expectation is at 10 o'clock you are trying to join that meeting. Then once everyone is in, or the majority of us are in, we can go ahead and start the lesson. Lessons may not take 45 total minutes, but I'm giving us that whole entire class period to be able to get logged in, make sure everyone is able to hear each other, see each other, things like that. If you have extra questions after the meeting, I'll give some time at the end as well. But then the next class will again start at the beginning of that time period. So this schedule will be very helpful for some of your live lessons for my class and for other classes as well. But again, we're going to go through like the periods of the day. So if it's a Tuesday and you have me 6th hour, you know to look at the schedule and you will know it will begin at 1:15. Again, I usually, when I have meetings like this, I have been trying to get in a couple minutes early just to make sure everything is set up. My Wi-Fi is working. I have access to the audio and the video and everything like that. So I'd recommend doing that as well. If for any reason you cannot make our live lesson, I will be recording it and posting it later on in the week. So you will be required to watch that afterwards if you miss the actual live lesson. But I really, really want to encourage all of you to try to get to that lesson at the beginning of the class period, just so we can have as many people there together and it can feel a little bit back to normal in a different way, but just that I get to see everyone together and we can all kind of collaborate. And I'm really excited about this. I think it'll be a lot of fun to be able to see each other and communicate in a little bit more natural of a way than all over Schoology. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Tomorrow, so that's March 31st, we're going to do a practice live lesson. So make sure you have access to this schedule. You know what time you'll be expected to come into the live lesson. And then we can all have a super successful first kind of go about it. I've never used Schoology conferences, so it'll be interesting for me as well. On Thursdays, you can expect Thoughtful Thursday, we're calling it. You can expect some sort of collaborative lesson involving your classmates. So this will be using either Schoology discussions or Flipgrid, which I know most of you have done before. I have not in my class, other than just like with Panther Time earlier this week. So this is new to me as well, but it's a great way to be able to communicate with your classmates and with Flipgrid so your classmates can see you and interact with what you're posting, what you're saying. Your initial post, whatever it may be, needs to be completed and uploaded by Thursday night at 11:59 p.m. The reason why I'm putting kind of a hard due date for that is because on Thoughtful Thursdays, your only requirement usually is going to be posting the discussion or posting the Flipgrid. That is your science learning for the day. And if we don't have enough people posting, then on Fridays, when I want you to kind of be able to go in and respond to your classmates, there won't be enough to respond to. So please make sure on Thursdays you are posting either the discussion or Flipgrid before Friday comes, just so your classmates have something to respond to. And then on Fridays, generally speaking, you will write some sort of thoughtful response to your classmate and have an opportunity to review what others posted on yours and then respond back. I can't wait to see all of you. I'm really sorry, Django's getting excited. He also is so excited to see you. I know this is kind of an overwhelming and unique situation, But again, I am here for all of you. If you have any questions or need help with anything, please reach out. Let me know. But again, I'm very excited to see you all soon.